This first group is the MGM group that has 6 casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. This lease is a bundle to VC Properties for $860 million per year. But it has 10 properties. This is only 6. The other 4, I believe, are in maybe Branson and maybe a couple more states that have legalized gambling. So even though it would be $86 million if you divided it by 10, 860 by 10, it certainly is not divided evenly, because MGM in this group, MGM and Mandalay Bay, would certainly take over more than 100 each in their rent. And then lesser properties like Excalibur might be down in the 50s, and then maybe Park MGM would be 70, something like that, because each one of these properties has to be independently profitable. So they do not divide it up equally, because it's not equal. They don't have the same amount of rooms. They don't have the same amount of square footage on their casino. I'm surprised that roller coaster is still in operation, and it is. I'm very thankful that it is, because I'm sure it's not making money. And they're slowly getting rid of everything that's not making money, which I think is, I know it makes sense on the numbers, but the numbers don't necessarily tell the whole story, because it's just really cool to see that roller coaster and you kind of gravitate toward it. It's pretty smart to have it. The Excalibur still has some decent priced. I see they've got a $3 frozen margarita, by the way. They're trying to compete with Station's $2 margarita. $3 being on a strip, I think that's pretty generous. That's pretty good. They've still got some cheap shows. They got that dinner show that's with the horses. I always wonder if you get dirt on your food in there. Not that it matters. This whole area was going to be torn down. There was rumor that they're going to tear down Excalibur and Luxor and build a big entertainment complex between the two. Who remembers when the Luxor had that Nile ride? The Nile water ride, I believe it was called. That was really awesome. It lasted about 7 years until they were remodeling something to decide it was wasting money. Again, they weren't thinking the way I was thinking. It drew a lot of people in there. Maybe they tracked the people and they were not gambling, they weren't buying anything, and they just came and rode the ride and then left. I really don't know if they had the technology to track people like that. They probably do now. I think with AI, you could probably track anything you want with facial recognition without telling people. And you would know who went in your casino, who spent money, and who just walked through and left. And maybe that's why they closed certain things. The Mandalay Bay has a full arena for the WNBA team here, the Aces. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't go either. And it's just the Cosmopolitan all by itself in a sell-off to Blackstone, and their rent back is $150 million. You got to remember that $150 million is just part of their overhead. They got a lot more overhead than that $150 million a year. They've also got all those extra fees that the culinary union created this year got them a big raise, and it is absolutely killing the Strip. Couldn't have happened at a worse time, and a lot of those people are getting laid off. And then the lower priced in the 60 million a piece range is this Caesars, the group of Caesars owned properties at 400 million for the whole group. So that's Flamingo, Link, Horseshoe, Bally's, not Bally's, formerly Bally's, Paris, Planet Hollywood, and Harrah's. So definitely Paris probably gets the blunt of that because they've got a lot more rooms than the rest of them, and plus they have a higher room rate. The lowest room rate is Flamingo, Harrah's, and Link. Well, Horseshoe, they're all the same. They're within dollars of each other. But Paris is definitely more expensive. And I assume VC Properties must own all these buildings out front too. That's just tremendous amount of overhead that we still want them to give us everything cheap. But if they're not leasing to these third-party restaurants cheaply, I promise you. So a lot of times you think you're getting ripped off at Gordon Ramsay, and you find out Gordon Ramsay can't even make ends meet because his overhead's so high because of the rent that he's paying. You go up in that Eiffel Tower, it's a lot higher than it looks. A whole lot higher. And then Planet Hollywood, I always thought that Planet Hollywood owned the Miracle Mile, and I guess the VC Properties owns Miracle Mile real estate. That's a tremendous amount of rental they've got in there. And this recently, the Strat sold their properties. This and I think, 6 more properties. The 2 Arizona Charlies, the one on Boulder and the one on Decatur, and then a small property in Laughlin, and then a couple other in another state. It's a whole bundle, and that they're paying $87 million a year for. Bob Stupak built that when it was Vegas World and owned it outright. And then this one, Bellagio, is listed at $300 million, but also says that it's part of another bundle, but I think they mean the hotel right next door. Jockey Club. No, is that Jockey Club? Wow, this is live. I can't check it, but I think it's Jockey Club, unless Jockey Club is the one across the street. I can't remember, but they've got the biggest overhead of any hotel on the Strip, any casino, and luckily for them, they're also the busiest. But right next door, and almost as busy as Caesar's Palace, and they're paying between 200 and 250 million a year. And they've got a buffet that's $100. Yeah, it's $100. It's $91.99 plus tax. That gets you right. I think that gets you in the 99 range, and then you might want to leave a tip. Yeah, that's pretty difficult for me to wrap my head around. But the reason they're not going to do anything different is there's usually an hour wait for it. So So the Venetian and the Palazzo also had sold their properties, and their combined rent is $365 million, which is surprising to me because, well, they get tremendous rent. Their rent rate is as high as anyone on the Strip besides the Wynn and maybe one more next to Aria. But the Venetian has one of the cheapest food courts on the whole Strip. You wouldn't expect that for as much overhead as they have. Venetian also still has a lot of free things to look at. If you go up to the canal shops and see the gondolas and just look at the architecture, it's absolutely beautiful. They don't have any rides for you to ride, but for free, but you've got a lot of sightseeing to do on this property. You won't find any low minimums in their casino, but that's not who they are. They don't pretend to be that company. And Casino Royale is not listed at all for me because it's kind of unclear exactly. They own their building, but they don't own the land. And then the Mirage, which is going to be the Hard Rock, which is the Hard Rock, also sold out their buildings, and they're under construction while they're paying $90 million a year in rent. That's gotta hurt. So if you're in a hurry for this thing to get finished, you think you are, you can be damn sure they're very much in a hurry. Then Aria and Vidara combined is $200 million, and that's Blackstone. So some of the MGM resorts did not necessarily get their lease through, didn't sell their assets to the same company. It's so convoluted, it's just absolutely mind-boggling, because some of these still have about a 5% ownership, like Cosmopolitan does have like a 5% ownership in MGM, which on the real estate, which makes no sense. But then there's these winners that still own their building and their land. First one is Sahara. How long until they do what everyone else did, I don't know. But I think if you are them, you probably feel pretty good about your position because you've always got that to fall back on. What I don't understand is why these companies didn't keep their buildings and borrow money off of the equity in the buildings instead of just selling them outright and signing a 30-year lease back. That doesn't make any sense to me, because it just seems like you gave up your best asset. And then Fontainebleau also owns their building and their property, which would probably surprise a lot of people because they have a big investment here. And they're not getting the traffic that you think they would. They do get it late at night, but certainly not on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And Circus, I think, is one of the cash cows on the Strip. Privately owned. And his total cost in this property is under $1 billion, and it's a huge property. think I read that he could sell it for $4 billion because of the extra property. I missed the Westward Ho, it was right there. I missed the Stardust, right there. So Resorts World has really deep pockets. The Malaysia company, they're not going anywhere. People post on social media that, it's going to close because they went and it was a slow night. They do have slow nights. They also have some really good nights. But they're fine. They're not going anywhere. They've got a lot of staying power. Really, there's not one casino on the Las Vegas Strip that is in jeopardy of closing. Not within decades. And the Wynn and Encore still own their property, which surprised a lot of people.
Alive, it hums and roars. The clink of coins, the spin of doors. I played for tips by a whiskey bar.
The Wynn still has a buffet. The Encore never did, and they share a lot of areas back and forth, so that's the reason only the Wynn does. And then Treasure Island, also owned by Paul Ruffin. I'm assuming that when the Hard Rock opens, they will not have a tram between them and Treasure Island. I bet they're going to. It might already be torn out, because there's no relationship between those two hotels. There wasn't when it was Mirage either, but they kept the tram going. Had an agreement with each other. Kind of like an HOA. Now this is Eastside Cannery on Boulder Highway. This is the biggest blunder, I think, in Vegas. I don't know if it's in Vegas history, because I'm not going to tell you that I know all the Vegas history. I know a lot of it, but from everything I've ever heard, this project, right, this building, this land is just an absurd situation. Why did they buy it? Well, right when I said that, I assumed they bought it so someone else wouldn't buy it. And that's really a terrible position to be in. It was competition to Sam's Town, which is right next door. I mean, the only thing between Sam's Town and Eastside Cannery is the RV park, Sam's Town RV Park. And most likely they did not want anyone else to own it, so they bought it and operated it in 2016 and paid $4 million rent on the land from 2016 all the way up to this year. Which was absolutely absurd. And then they closed in 2020, I guess it was, for the pandemic. Never reopened. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It was very modern. It's one of the newer, certainly the newest one on Boulder Highway. a lot newer than its sister casino, Sam's Town. But Sam's Town still had a lot more business. Sam's Town just had the name and the recognition, and they had the bowling alley. It got more locals. For some reason, this place didn't. But this place was nice, real nice. But they got stuck with that $4 million rent per year. So between the pandemic and now, so 5 years, they were paying $4 million a year for the rent on the property, and then they were paying $500,000 to keep the electricity on, so that things wouldn't get moldy, and the electronics wouldn't, just for the heat, wouldn't get ruined. If that was in Florida, the mattresses also would have turned to mold in about a week. But even though we don't have any humidity here, it's still bad on furniture not to have air conditioning in the summer. So it was absolutely surprising, shocking, whatever you want to call it, when they announced that since they weren't going to reopen that, there's really no future that they would need to have another casino so close to their sister casino open. They decided now that they're going to tear the damn thing down. So all that electricity they were spending for the last 5 years, $6 million per year, $30 million total, is all down the toilet. That's why I say it's the biggest blunder in history. They should have bought the land in the first place in 2016 and not paid the $4 million. And then they finally decided to pay the land off, and then they decided to tear it down. Okay, it is the lounge area and the patio. I didn't see that lounge word down there at the bottom. Lounge and patio upstairs up at the movie theater. $5 wings, pizza, draft beer, and margaritas. It's a nice area up there. You should come here just for these specials. I mean, you go into a local bar in Las Vegas that's not a casino. Why? Isn't a casino more exciting to drink than a roadside bar? You're going to pay more than that at a dump. And this place is nice. And this will never come back, I assume. The only thing I don't like about this casino is this. I just think it's smart to lose money. Sometimes. And sometimes meaning the buffet. Everybody's losing money on the buffet. But it brings people in the casino. They don't just come to the buffet. Maybe 20% of them do, but the other ones, they're going to gamble. They're going to drink. They're going to go to the movies. Not open yet. $1.50 when they are open. $1.50. Limit 1. I don't know why, but yeah, limit 1. Buttermilk biscuits and country gravy, $4.45. Half a pound cheeseburger with fries, $5.45. That's the deal right there. Well, that 7-ounce New York strip, 2 eggs, hash browns and toast, $7.45. But you got to stay up till midnight. These are the prices for Golden Corral. If you're not familiar with Golden Corral, they have locations across America. Their food is high quality. You don't have a lot of fancy stuff like crab legs, of course, but it's not really necessary for us to have crab legs. If we can get a decent buffet in a casino for a decent price. And you can see these prices are way lower than anything's been on the Las Vegas Strip in decades. For instance, right now, the Circus buffet at dinner is $40.95. The Golden Corral buffet is $16 to $18, and it includes steak. The buffet at Circus does not include steak. And the buffet at Circus is really not anywhere close to as good a quality as Golden Corral. Golden Corral has fantastic fried chicken. You just put that fried chicken and the mashed potatoes and the sometimes shrimp, always fish, salads and stuff like that, and had that in a casino, people would go crazy. It would bring people in, and that's the reason you have a buffet, because everybody says you lose money on your buffet, but how is Golden Corral making money at those prices for at least the same food or better? And I think it's because of management and because of sourcing food, possibly their buying power. Certainly on the steak, I know that they have a secret on the steak that they won't let out. It's more secret than Colonel Sanders' recipe. But their steak is really good. It's not garbage. You'd think it is so tough you couldn't eat it, but it's not. It's tender, it's flavorful, it's really good. But a place like Circus, considering it's a privately owned casino, could pull this off. My idea would be replace the Circus buffet with the Golden Corral buffet and charge Golden Corral, lease the square footage to them exactly what they pay for their Golden Corral location in Las Vegas. Because you claim to be losing money on your buffet, why don't you make money on the lease of the square footage and just leave it alone? Get it out of your hair. You don't have to order any food. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to hire employees. Just let Golden Corral handle it. If you don't like the Golden Corral name, maybe they'll let you use the Circus name, but it's really a Golden Corral, and the food would be better. The price would be way better. The agreement would be you got to have the same price as the Golden Corral across town, and when you go up on that one, you can go up on this one. And you get charged the same as you were going to pay at a location across town, not casino lease price, because then they can't make it work. But you can't make it work. So why not? It would be a win-win. This is another place that would be great for Golden Corral to come in, even if they don't use their brand name, just to make some kind of agreement with a company like this, who's doing absolutely nothing with this space. This space has been empty since the pandemic. This is at Palace Station, but this is true at many others, even Luxor, who's part-time buffet, Bellagio's part-time buffet. They're not even open. Some of those are not even open at dinner. But my point about Golden Corral is if they can make it at their prices, even if you put them in here for free, then you wouldn't be losing on your buffet. You would just be bringing in customers. But you could definitely charge them square footage price that would be fair. Now, the one thing I did forget is that then they would have to pay the culinary rate on labor. So they might have to charge 10% more on the buffet price than they do on a Golden Corral over on Sahara, far away from the strip. So it wouldn't be apples to apples. So they might have to charge a little bit more, but it would definitely be worth it. Bring in some customers.
The wheels hum low as the highway bends, chasing a trail where the river ends. Dust in my hair and a map in my hand, rolling on the river where the waters run wide. Rolling on the river with the stars as our guide. Home is the road is alive. Coffee's brewing on a rusty stove. The sun dips low, paints the canyon in gold. Stories by the fire, the night unfolds. No roof but the sky, no walls but the pie. Rolling on the river where the waters run wide. Rolling on the river with the stars as our guide. Home is the road is alive. No roof but the sky, no walls but the pine. The river whispers secrets to the stones. Its voice is ancient, older than bones. Every ripple sings every bed knows. Rolling on the river where the waters run wide. Rolling on the river with the stars as our guide. Home is the run, the road is alive. The river whispers secrets to the stone. Its voice is ancient, older than bones. Every ripple sings, every band knows. Neon buzz, desert air hums low. River whispers secrets only it knows. Quarters in my pocket, hopes in my chest, chasing dreams where the west feels blessed. Dice roll heavy, hearts roll light. Stars burn brighter on a gambler's night. Lady luck in Laughlin, take my hand. Show me the cards, let me make a stand. One more spin, one more try, in this town where the stakes run high. Saw her smile through the cigarette haze. Her eyes were fire, her laugh amazed. She said, win or lose, it's all the same. Life's just a gamble, love's the game. Chips fall fast, the clock moves slow. The river keeps running, where does it go? Lady luck in Laughlin, take my hand. Show me the cards, let me make a stand. One more spin, one more try, in this town where the stakes run high. Yeah. Chips fall fast, the clock moves slow. The river keeps running, where does it go? Lady luck in Laughlin, take my hand. Show me the cards, let me make a stand. One more spin, one more try, in this town where the stakes run high. Chips fall fast, the clock moves slow. The river keeps running, where does it go?
Neon hum on a desert night, a flickering promise, golden bright. I crossed that river, left my pride, chasing dreams on the other side. Rolling dice in Laughlin town, betting high while the sun sinks down. I lost my luck, but not my name. A queen of hearts in a losing game. Ain't no clock on these casino walls, but I can hear ticking calls. Rolling dice in Laughlin town, betting high while the sun sinks down. The cards keep falling, the wheels spin round, but I can't win what I haven't found. Every hand feels like a borrowed chance, a fleeting waltz, a gambler's dance. And though the stakes keep drawing me near, I'm playing blind through a veil of tears. Rolling dice in a Laughlin town, betting high while the sun sinks down. The cards keep falling, the wheels spin round, but I can't win what I haven't found. Rolling dice in Laughlin town, betting high while the sun sinks down. The cards keep falling, the wheels spin round, but I can't win what I haven't found. Oh, I can't win what I haven't found. Ain't no clock on these casino walls, but I can hear the ticking calls. But I can hear the ticking calls.
Sunrise wakes the Colorado's flow. Slot machines hum where dreams might grow. A dusty breeze through the desert blows. Boots on the boardwalk, let's see where it goes. Neon signs and riverboats gleam. Feels like I'm living inside a dream. Oh, fun in Laughlin, Nevada tonight, under the stars and the casino lights. Roll the dice, let the good times stay. We're making